When I was in my 20s, looking back, I knew what behaviors I was doing looking back that was attracting poor relationship outcomes. When I was in it, I thought I was catnip. Right? Because when you're attracting people who are chaotic to you, you attract a lot of chaotic people around you, right? So I can just imagine a woman standing there, you're attracting 5, 10, 15 guys. A man's out there, you're attracting 5, 10, 15 different women. Superficially, why would you change because you're attracting all these people, whether no matter how wrong they are for you? But once you start having better and healthy relationships, what I've noticed, and I'll get you to answer this,
Mhm.
is I attract less people, right? Did you find that as well as the more you worked on yourself, your amount of people that you were attracting began to shrink in numbers?
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. And I think the best way to to make that happen is to work on yourself. The healthier you are emotionally, spiritually, even physically, because they all work together, the narrower your circle is going to be. And the people that would kind of eye you out at first would aren't going to do that anymore because they whatever is their spidey sense that senses empaths, they sense, ooh, don't mess with that one, she is very self-assured, very self-confidence, and vice versa.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's like when someone gets divorced within the year, all their friends are divorced. And all they hate relationships at that point, right? And I was talking to someone the other day about this. I was like, when you have a bad situation, it's very easy to get caught up in groups that are coming together through a common dislike or common hate. I divorced my wife. She was the worst woman in the world. And then you begin to gravitate, maybe consciously or unconsciously, towards other people who've had bad experiences. Now, the only reason that you guys are together is to complain, right?
Yeah,
And
I didn't.
then
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead, I'm sorry.
yeah, no problem. So I was gonna say, and then when one person finds a healthy relationship, now they've become what that group doesn't like, right? So what are your thoughts on that happening where we transition from, let's say, a relationship that was serving us, it ends, we find people that are sharing our same sorrow, maybe, but as soon as we start to work on ourselves, now we're finding us being at odds with the same people that we're looking for support.
Yeah, and that supports that saying, misery loves company. And you will find that, I guess, I never experienced that as far as after I was divorced and finding a bunch of other people that were divorced too. So I didn't experience that, but I did go to one singles church group for newly divorced people, and that was when I was living in Southern California, and it was the most depressing group. I never went back because it was just they all wanted to tell their horribly sad stories. And there's a place for that. You need a listening ear when you find yourself divorced alone in your early 40s. And that there's a place for that. But in a group to just oh, it was so depressing. And then they all wanted to go bowling. And I'm just like, this is not my group. So, I think if somebody is stuck in that and then they start working on themselves and they're getting healthy, they're reading books, they're getting counseling and all that, it's time to separate from that group. It's time to divorce yourself from that group. Whatever they say, oh, you're not part of us anymore. And you used to be fun. And, all the things that people say is just like, yeah, you're right. Bye, Felicia.
What impact then do you think shame from others will keep people stuck in their misery?
Oh, if they're not healthy, shame is a really good tool. It will keep them trapped. And unfortunately, some people don't want to break out of the poor me situation. They don't want to break out of um, their sadness and their pain and all that because that in itself has become a comfort zone for them. And it's become comfort food to where they like to eat it all the time, like macaroni and cheese, just, and I love it. It's one of my favorite foods. But but it just becomes comfortable, and you're going to stay in that. Some people that want to stay in that will respond well to shame and guilt. And until they get healthy, until they start breaking out of that and uh, becoming more of who they are uh, as a single person, then they'll stay stuck. But once you break free, like the cocoon, becoming a butterfly, I know everybody and their mother uses that one, but it's true. Once you get your wings, you know, you're you're free and you don't want to go back.
It's like that saying, right? You are what you eat, and if you continue to eat garbage, you will become
Yep.
garbage, right? Or your life will be that. And it's the human body and the human mind is so interesting. It's like when you've been in a chaotic situation or chaotic type of person for so long, some people think that, okay, I'm going to work on myself for a week and then I'm good. I was like, no, you've been this person for years. You'll have
Yeah.
to be the new person for years. Oh,
Yeah.
terrain, that's a lot of work. Well, it was a lot of work for you to be bad.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I understand that as we get older, we may have that saying that, well, that person's stuck in their ways, but we can
Hmm.
learn so much. What role do you think then society and maybe people in general will play in identifying what is a healthy relationship and how we can obtain it?
Oh, wow. Well, I don't think you should listen to society because they are often wrong. And if you go with popular opinion, that is often wrong. So you almost have to buck against the tide if you want to have a healthy relationship. I mean, that's to me nowadays, that is the exception rather than the rule, unfortunately, because it's normal to have a toxic relationship or have a bad marriage or have be unhappy. You have to buck against the tide, against society, against everything that are told. And please just don't take your advice from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There's maybe some good stuff on there, but not that much. So you just have to forge your way. Read the right books. Read books that are going to empower you. Read books that are going to point you in the right direction for if you want a healthy relationship. And some people say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with all that. I never want to date again. And that's it.